On a bitter January night, when the cold wind scraped against the buildings like knives and the whole city seemed to be holding its breath, Mia Turner stood alone outside the shuttered entrance of the central train station, clutching a flimsy canvas bag that held the entire remainder of her life, the cold biting through the cheap black jacket she'd bought from a thrift store the previous week, a jacket never meant for temperatures that dipped below freezing. She was 31, brown-haired, soft-spoken, and exhausted down to her bones in a way that wasn't just physical but spiritual, the kind of exhaustion that came from weeks of pretending she was fine while everything inside her was quietly falling apart. She'd lost her job 2 months earlier when the small bakery she worked at shut down due to rising costs, and she'd tried, truly tried, to find something else, a cashier job, a cafe position, even temporary holiday work, but competition was fierce, and she didn't have a degree or connections or even a proper resume. Her boyfriend, Eric, had tolerated the first few weeks of her unemployment, even encouraged her to take her time, but the moment her bad luck began affecting his lifestyle, the dinners out, the expensive hobbies, the weekends away, his patience evaporated. 2 days ago, after a long and ugly argument, he told her to pack her things and leave before he started thinking she was using him. The words had cut deeper than she expected. Not because she loved him, she wasn't too sure she ever truly had, but because it was just another confirmation of something she'd feared for years, that she didn't matter to anyone, not really. With no remaining family and no friends close enough to ask for help, Mia found herself spending the last of her money on a bus ticket to the city where she hoped there might be more opportunities. But when she arrived, she discovered the shelter was full, the hostel prices had doubled due to a winter surge, and the only motel she could afford required a deposit she didn't have. So she ended up standing outside the train station, her breath fogging in the air, her numb fingers gripping her bag, feeling her hope slowly drain away with every passing minute, until she finally sank down onto the icy concrete, pressing her back against the wall, her legs trembling not just with cold but with the overwhelming fatigue of someone who had been surviving instead of living for far too long. She didn't notice the taxi pull up to the curb, didn't see the woman stepping out until she heard a voice warm but firm say, "Honey, you're freezing." "You can't sit out here like this." Mia looked up, startled, and saw a woman in her late 40s with curly dark hair, a thick wool coat, and a tote bag slung over her shoulder, a woman whose face carried both determination and kindness in equal measure. "I'm fine," Mia lied automatically, though her jaw trembled with each word. "I'm just waiting." "Waiting for what?" the woman asked gently, glancing at the large closes sign on the station doors. "The building shut down an hour ago." Mia's cheeks burned with embarrassment, and she looked away, blinking back tears. I don't know where else to go." The woman crouched down so their eyes met. "My name is Angela Brooks. I run the community center 3 blocks from here. I'm heading home now, but I can't leave you like this. Come with me. We'll get you warm first, and then we'll figure out the rest." "I can't," Mia whispered. "You don't know me." "I could be someone who needs help," Angela finished softly. "That's all I need to know." Before Mia could protest again, Angela shrugged out of her own scarf and wrapped it around Mia's neck, her movements brisk and motherly, the warmth of the scarf almost shocking. "Please," Angela added with a kind of pleading sincerity that Mia wasn't sure she deserved. "Let me help you." Something inside Mia cracked, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, like the sound of a thaw beginning after a long winter, and she nodded. Angela helped her to her feet, supporting her when her legs wobbled. The walk to the community center felt surreal. The streets were dark and silent, the snow crunching under their shoes like broken glass, and Mia kept waiting for Angela to change her mind or ask intrusive questions or something. But she didn't. She simply walked beside her, occasionally checking to make sure Mia hadn't lost feeling in her hands. When they reached the center, Angela unlocked the door and ushered her into a warm, softly lit lobby. The heater hummed loudly, and the air smelled faintly of cinnamon and old books. Angela guided her to a couch, wrapped a thick blanket around her, and disappeared into the kitchen, returning with hot tea and a bowl of vegetable soup. Mia hadn't realized how hungry she was until her hands were shaking around the spoon, and Angela quietly pretended not to notice when Mia's eyes filled with tears as she ate. When she finally finished, Angela sat beside her. "You don't have to tell me everything," she said, "but tell me enough so I can help you." And for the first time in months, Mia spoke honestly about losing her job, being kicked out, her savings running out, the bone-deep loneliness that had followed her everywhere. Angela listened, not interrupting, not judging, just absorbing every word. When Mia finished, Angela touched her hand lightly. "You're not alone anymore," she said simply. "Not tonight, not tomorrow. Not unless you choose to be." Over the next few days, the community center became a lifeline. Angela arranged a temporary room for Mia in the women's dormitory upstairs, helped her apply for emergency assistance, and walked her through creating a resume. But more than that, she gave Mia something she hadn't had in years: dignity. She treated her like a human being worth investing in, worth caring about. She introduced Mia to the volunteers, invited her to join the afternoon craft sessions, encouraged her to attend the weekend job workshops. And slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, Mia began to thaw. She started helping around the center, cleaning tables, organizing the donation room, reading stories to the children who came in after school. She found she was good with them, patient, gentle, funny in a quiet way, and the kids adored her. Angela noticed. One evening after the center closed, Angela approached her. "The daycare assistant we hired last year just moved away," she said. "It's part-time, but it's a start. And I think you'd be perfect for it." Mia blinked, stunned. "Me? Why?" "Because I've watched you," Angela said with a smile. "You're kind, you're responsible. You show up even when life knocks you down. And that's the kind of person children need." With Angela's encouragement, Mia took the job. And it became the turning point. She found purpose again, something steady, something good, and in the months that followed, she saved money, moved into a small rented room nearby, and enrolled in evening classes for early childhood education. Angela cheered her on every step of the way, attending her presentations, helping her study, pushing her forward gently whenever self-doubt crept in. 2 years later, on a warm spring afternoon, the community center hosted its annual festival. Families filled the courtyard, music played through the speakers, children dashed around with painted faces and sticky fingers. Mia, now a full-time childcare coordinator with her own classroom and a certificate on the wall, stood beside Angela at the lemonade table. "Hard to believe," Angela said, nudging her shoulder, "that the woman who runs our most popular program used to sit outside a train station in the cold." Mia laughed softly, the sound bright and full of life. "Hard to believe anyone stopped for me that night." "I didn't stop for someone," Angela said. "I stopped for you." Mia looked around the bustling courtyard, the children calling her name, the volunteers waving, the families she'd helped, and felt an overwhelming rush of gratitude. "You saved my life," she whispered. "No," Angela said, slipping an arm around her shoulders. "I just helped you stand. You're the one who walked forward." And Mia realized, maybe for the first time without doubt or hesitation, that she was not broken, not forgotten, not disposable. She was alive, she was strong, she was loved. And all of it all, the healing, the growth, the future she never thought she would have, began on a freezing January night when one stranger decided to stop, to care, and to see her.